Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the shelf live. I am your co-host, Tanner.
And I'm Sam.
And we are under the ever watchful gaze of the Paddington Bear.
Wait, why is the StreamYard duck not here this week?
He cometh and he goeth.
I'm nervous. I'm like, did I cancel a free trial of Advance?
He's off on it. I hope we didn't reschedule that because I'm not paying for it.
Oh, that's my worst nightmare because I know you.
No, but yeah.
I know, but I cancelled it way before the due date. So hopefully it's just StreamYard being benevolent.
The StreamYard duck is off performing a deed that we shan't know about, ought not know about. Their ways are not even higher than our ways, sometimes lower than our ways. Ducks are a fearsome species.
You know what's going to be hard is not talking about Ploddington until the Claymation podcast comes out.
That's right.
Because he's just so vibrant in my mind now.
Well, you know, of course, a lot of our viewership is tuned into the great conspiracies of our time, and some will know the name Ploddington, and if they don't, they'll get the shiver down their spine, and they'll know on some intuitive level what we're talking about.
That is so true. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Talk about White Lotus because it's like our Tuesday video. I'm like, okay, we got to be like dialed in on the theme.
Oh my god, is it Tarot Tuesday, Friday, Tuesday?
I was gonna say, should we just start off with a little group tarot reading to kind of set a vibe?
Every time. How's everybody doing? Diamond Dave says, finally my life can resume. I assume you're still on the plane to Mongolia. How are you in the moon currently? Let us know. Soul Midori says, needed this. Are any of you watching Handmaid's Tale final season? Oh, are you talking about CNN?
Yeah, I'm not brave enough to watch Handmaid's Tale. I watched season 1. It was so scary and how real it felt. So then I had to give up because of the horror.
Yeah, that was, I think I did one episode. It didn't hook me. And
really?
Well, yeah, and that could be just the part of me that's like, don't
See,
need
it
to.
did hook me, but it was, yeah. I'm glad someone has mentioned the herbal tank. I recently came into 2 new secondhand tops, and I feel like a whole new woman.
I saw the Instagram picture.
I'm like, this is how I should have been dressing. These are the tops of my soul, and I just came into them.
I mean, granted, we just got into spring, so you know It's not your fault for wearing a winter wardrobe.
Have you ever heard the phrase like, when you're enlightened, you dress better? No, I'm not. Not about so enlightened, but what I mean by that is just like that concept of like the more you sort of come into yourself, the more you're able to sort of express yourself in an authentic way that just generally, I don't know, it just kind of like fits and it vibes and it works in a different way. That does seem to be a little bit true. The tops I was wearing last spring are not the tops I'm wearing this spring. And that has a double meaning.
You have topped the top.
I've topped the top, Tanner.
Now you're at the tippy top. Tip of the top to ya.
Okay, you have, we just barely touched on it before we started recording. You're doing a paid improv gig again? Are you doing a paid comedy gig?
I just got a...
Tanner is in his paid stand-up comedian era.
Yeah, performing to the top audiences of Utah, the retirement home.
And we also do want to stress that once again, he is available for weddings and he will do a smashing job.
I will marry you. I swear to God. Pay for me to fly out to your destination.
It will be the most majestic ceremony.
And yeah, it'll be something we'll never forget.
Mm-hmm. So that's just something to think about.
Yeah. Shall we pull a card?
Is the balance of our microphones okay? I feel like I turned mine up the other day and I'm just want to make sure it's
the balance of the microphones okay? Yeah. Let us know, folks. Please take your stand up to Portlandia. That would be fun. Oh. I've been thinking about it. I was like, there's got to be a way, like a better way to just do fun things. And I was like, if we knew that there was like a certain amount of people
who could travel.
Yeah. Who could be like, sell a ticket for this amount, put on an event.
That's what Connor from Brooke and Connor Make a Podcast do. Oh my God. And he is like living in New York right now. So they're apart and they have to have Connor zoom in to the podcast, which I just breaks my heart because I just imagine if you had to zoom into the podcast.
Oh, wow. Well, if we were just doing Claymation Pod the full time.
Yeah, then it would be fine.
Which is where I see all of this going. Full-time Clay.
But you're going to New York next week.
I'm going to New York next
That's
week.
gonna be
First
fun.
time ever in the Big Apple.
Cool.
Just a little apple and a big apple.
Yeah. You've been to Chicago before?
I have, yeah. And I enjoyed it.
Cool.
I'm if you can't tell by my jacket, the lesser version of the jacket that got stolen after this very live stream. Red.
Oh, I have a jacket to give you.
What? Surprise jacket? Okay. Well, we're gonna manage our expectations, everyone. Oh. No, I think that's cute.
Have I offered you this one before?
I don't think you have.
Okay, I just have never worn it.
Let's try it.
Someone else thrifted it for me. But it's really cute and it's in your color palette. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's no wolf fleece, but
wow.
it will be cute in the desert.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's so kind.
I love when
It's
we
so
give gifts on air.
soft. Wow. What a nice warm embrace. How does it look, gang? What are we thinking?
Aw.
Compliments accepted now.
We really look so Portlandia. Well, actually, no, they do a slightly different thing on that show.
Fred Armisen is so funny. And
It's
everyone says
crazy
so.
to me that you haven't watched Big Mouth because John Mulaney's in
Didn't
it.
hook me.
It is so good. I think you got to let stuff hook you sometimes.
You do. And I am a known complainer. Like, oh, it was Alain de Botton. How do you even pronounce his name?
Alain de Botton.
Yeah. Anyway, great. Love listening to him.
Yeah.
He was talking about how it is such a human delight to complain, and we have to a truly a higher or greater perspective
So
will
British.
Integrate the need to just be like, yes, it's like our right to just be like, oh, shit's bothering.
Yeah, it's
Like, yeah.
helps you lighten it if you can just.
So I love to approach all media with that attitude. It's like, even if I enjoy watching a thing, I delight in being able to critique it.
Okay.
And that is a nice segue for White Lotus.
Well, I do relate to that, but just on the Big Mouth thing.
Yeah.
It's like a gross show, if you know what I mean. Like, it has a lot of types of humor that I am not generally into, and it has me crying with laughter. Like, it is so brilliant. So I don't know. I think you should give it another chance.
Okay.
But let's meet on the bridge that is White Lotus. Oh wait, we're doing the tarot first, right?
The bridge where guns are flying, bullets are flying. Spoiler alerts about White Lotus. If you haven't watched it, you're gonna hear all about it right now.
Why are you here? No, stay. It's fun. Yes, of course we are doing tarot readings for Super Chats as usual. If you say that you want one, and yeah, we are doing Super Chats.
What's the vibe of this?
This is just our group tarot for the week.
Tarot for the week. The prayer.
Ah! Very White Lotus. Do you guys like that?
I feel like it's nice. A little visual
I think
aid.
It's nice. Something so relaxing about these live streams. I really feel like we could have a positive impact on attention span.
My own
others.
primarily. Like, a whole 2 hours where I'm not even allowed to look at my phone unless I come up with a very good reason.
But I get like constant like notifications from Super Chat, so it's like kind of a high dopamine experience still. The prayer, the worship, the reverence, the homage. What is prayer? When are we in a state of prayer and when are we not? To whom or what do we pray? Archetypally, the practice of prayer has been with us since the dawn of time as a remedy for the omnipresent, self-centered thinking that spins us toward illusion. This feels so relevant to today. Prayer leads us beyond our ego as we move from our little story to the big one. Some say we are in a state of prayer anytime we are not the center of our own thoughts. Others say prayer is a natural result of gratitude. Perhaps it is simply surrender or service. Whatever prayer is for you, this card reminds us of its importance. Get quiet, low, humble, and soft. Bow and touch the ground as your heart lifts to the sky. Though it may be uncomfortable, it is time. Nothing else will do. Experiment with the act of bowing down. Nearly all spiritual traditions make a practice of prostration. That is so true.
Yeah, for the bare necessity of stretching your back. That lower back needs that
little
child's pose. Yeah.
Something to think about. Every song, kiss, breath, word can become a prayer. It is a feeling, not an action. Consider the ancient mantra, I bow to the creative consciousness within, I bow to the teacher within. So when this card is light, offering to be of service, asking for guidance. When dark, expecting results, self-aggrandizement. Go deeper, ask to be of service.
I like it.
That is so this channel core.
Yeah.
We're reclaiming prayer.
I be praying.
And it's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah. Yep.
It's so easy to pray in the spring, am I right?
Yeah. It's a different kind of prayer. It is more one of those of gratitude and not desperation, which is nice.
Yeah. Oh, to not be grasping for just like a shred of like, this is okay.
We're back. Every week we're back.
Yeah. No, that is so true.
Prayer does mean something so different now. It is nice to reclaim and realize you really can frame the world and your like relationship to it and to yourself and to your inner world. And that's just as valid, if not more valid than other ways of looking at things.
Oh, I liked how that card talked about how like true prayer is that which helps you suspend your ego. And
yeah, exactly.
For us as Mormons, it's like in theory, prayer could be about sort of surrendering your little story of yourself. And these lights are different, but it's no one said anything. So, I think it's fine. Most of the time, I feel like it's just like prostrating, like kind of repenting for being terrible, or there's a way it can just easily become about like self-flagellation, and almost like Mormonism really, as a lot of religions do, encourage you to like feel inferior, and like inferiority is of the ego as much as superiority. So I just think it's kind of an unhelpful model of prayer a lot of the time, though I do believe that there are Mormons who have probably a decent relationship with prayer. Whoa, what currency is that? ARS. That is Argentina, right? That's so fun. I've lost the screen.
My brother served his mission in Argentina.
So I do want a reading, but the Argentinian peso sucks. There's no Venmo, so I'm giving as much as it allows me, and I'm going to send a couple. I'm a patron, though. That is so nice.
Oh my God, you're literally,
Thank you.
you mean so much to us. Thank you.
Yeah. And you would mean a lot without the money.
Yeah.
This is a democracy, but
yeah, viewership alone. Thank you. And Patreon and chat support. That really means a lot. Thanks.
And I do want a reading. Let's go. Let's see what it is. I'll try not to make every reading.
Here, I'll fan it and you choose this one.
Yeah, you fan.
Just clear it. Yep.
The healer. I'll try and go through these quickly. The healer. Though some claim the work of the healer as their gift, the force of this archetype is within everyone. It is our natural inclination to remember, to return to, and to reclaim that central and eternal life force from which we so easily drift away. The healer's mission is to move through the... Oh, sorry, I missed a bit. In Sanskrit, the word avidya, sorry, I'm definitely saying that wrong, means forgetting. And it is said that this is the source of all suffering and disease. The healer's mission then becomes to move through the comfort of forgetting, through the veils of ignorance and denial, to reveal the radiance that already exists. The healer approaches this in multiple ways from multiple angles, knowing the cycle of healing is not linear. It is a multi-layered and circuitous process, always leading back to its own origin. Much like this thing I can't pronounce. Yes, the healer is within everyone. A good reminder.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the process of regeneration. That kind of goes along with the prayer thing. That like for me, prayer, in as much as that's a useful term, is like a time for me to like slow down, literally calm my body, and like get to a place that'll help my mind slow down, and that I can observe my thoughts and what's going on from more of like an impartial witness standpoint, and not so like in the heat of whatever's going on. And that even just like normal day-to-day living, it's just like a moment where it's like a centering, grounding, like just being connected with my body and quieting my mind, so that then I can move from a place of like gratitude, and which is a regenerative attitude. And as much as it grieves me to say that religion really got that one right, they really did.
Gratitude.
A gratitude attitude.
A gratitude attitude.
I think that's just, ancient wisdom that trickles down through every belief system, and people just know that like if you're finding as many opportunities as you can to be grateful for things, you'll be more grateful for things.
Yeah, the issue is only when religion uses gratitude as a weapon to keep people okay with things that like their own bodies know is not okay.
Yeah. Aren't you so freaking grateful that Jesus died on the cross for you? If you're not grateful, then you better send me 10% of your money now, or else you are not gratitudeful enough.
Women should just be grateful that they get to give birth. One of the most painful experiences a person can go through.
You should just be grateful that you are talking to the president of the United States. I haven't even heard you say thank you once.
Did you see that video? There's like this swimfluencer. She's really just like
how do I become that?
She's kind of just like a transphobic influencer, but she's called Riley Gaines, and basically she like came 5th in this swim competition with a trans girl, and like has built this whole conservative platform on this. And she spoke at some conference, and Trump is like up there on stage with this girl who's like a D1 swimmer. Like even though she came 5th, she's like a really good swimmer, and she's like 20 something. And Trump is like on the stage being like, I'm much bigger and stronger than her, right? So obviously I could beat her in swimming. And like to try and make his transphobic point, but like, of course you couldn't beat her in swimming, you maniac. You maniac. You're like, what, 75 and like anyway, just fun.
I feel like I need to throw up a snake made of oil every time I think about Donald Trump. It just makes I can't believe this. How are we on this timeline?
Yes. Okay, another super chat from Soul. The cycle of healing is not linear, appropriate for me. I've been doing EMDR therapy for a while now. Healing is my word of the year. Thank you both. Also love the Snake Rep TV coming. The Snake Rep TV coming. Yes. Reputation Taylor's version is coming. I was just thinking about that this morning. That's so weird. Also, I think I was just reading your stuff on Patreon because I remember the EMDR therapy.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
I need to get on that EMDR train. Unlike the do it.
Not me. I don't
DIY EMDR. It's a whole new branch of
honestly, yeah, you can just hypnotize yourself, I think.
You literally can.
Yeah, and majors out there.
Yeah.
Well, it's spring, so I don't need any therapy, and I never will again. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm fixed forever.
Yeah, totally. That vitamin D cured everything. I no longer am an anxious person, and I no longer overthink anything.
I really have been doing so well the last 5 days. It's nuts. And then it was like, oh, it was so bad before. And like, I'm realizing how bad it was before by the contrast, which happens every spring.
It does.
But I always don't realize it.
No, every time going into March, I'm like, it's that last stretch of winter that's the hardest, like February,
you
March.
You think, oh, I'll feel so good in March because, spring, but no.
Yeah.
It's still not a 65-degree sunny day.
No, April's where it's at. And then May.
Don't talk about it. Yes.
Yeah. Can't wait. Well, how fun that we drew that healer card, and that's your word of the year. That's so synchronistic.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
We're 20 minutes in. So let's talk about White Lotus.
Okay.
Whether or not you watched it. I assume you did if you're here.
If you haven't watched White Lotus and you just want to hear about it, it's basically a series about rich white people going on vacations, getting up to no good, having all their shadow sides exposed until a murder happens the last episode, or a death of some kind.
Gotta be a murder.
And well, I'll just say the first one surprised me. I was like,
the first season.
Yeah. It was kind of a slower burn, but I thought the humor was really good. It was like definitely a dark comedy. What's her name is in it?
They did have new writers. Yeah, it used to be funny.
Yeah, exactly.
This time it was like
just
an
drama.
amusing social satire, but it wasn't like funny very often.
Right. There, and there's some lines: tsunami, Buddhism, the milk, what does he say? The milk's bad. The coconut milk's bad. See, I'm butchering it already. It's not. I couldn't
People
memorize
love stuff like that.
It's like these guys are trying to kill me.
Oh yeah. I mean, nothing is Jennifer Coolidge, but.
So yeah, the first one I thought was very funny, and the soundtrack was incredible, and the cinematography was really beautiful and intentional. Yeah, it did a lot of cool transitions and cool shots, and then the second one is, I think, a dramatic masterpiece.
Yeah.
Jennifer Coolidge is
so
immaculate in every possible way, and they really just made a beautiful opera of the whole thing. And also funny. This one I didn't think was very funny at all.
You are more of a TV critic.
Yeah,
I'm seeing it today. I guess I just was so impressed that they could create TV I was so hooked on. I don't know. I'm like, it doesn't really, I just feel like all 3 seasons are so amazing when you really think about it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the experience watching the show. And I love to see Uncle Baby Billy at it again as playing Walton Goggins playing Rick Hatchet, I think his name is. And I am actually looking forward to, hopefully through the course of this live stream, learning the names of anybody else, because I really struggle to know the names of anybody in the show. I'm like, the dad, the mom.
Yeah, the dad, the mom is fine.
The security guard.
The dad, the mom is fine.
The younger brother, the older brother, the sister. the actress.
Who's remembering like character and actor names?
I'm not even remembering people in my own community's names. Yeah. It's terrible.
I don't have that type of autism.
Yeah, it's like, if you guys could be a little bit funnier, then maybe.
All right, we should talk about the Ratcliffe family first, because also we haven't talked about this season.
They're Radcliffes?
The religious Southern family where the dad's losing all his money.
Or non-religious.
Yeah. Can I just start out by saying the way the dad was acting the whole season, like thinking about killing himself, thinking about killing his whole family, I forgot that the consequences were just going to be him going to jail for a few months and them losing all their money. Like, I got it into my head just because of the way his thing unfolded, that he was going to prison for life, in which case I'm like, yeah, fair enough. Like, I might be having some of those thoughts too. And then on the last episode, I was like, wait, they're just going to like lose their money, which like rich people will still have connections and ways to get more,
Yeah.
And he would just go to jail for a few months. Like, that's not even as bad as, I don't know. It's not like,
I mean, maybe he could do 30 years, maybe, but let's be real. In the United States of God bless America.
Yeah.
No good old boy is going for 30 years for a white collar crime.
Said on the phone like a few months.
That's just being good at taxes.
Yeah. So anyway.
But yeah, I'm like, just go home, get arrested, go through, get bail, and then kill yourself at home. Like, at least find out what's going to go on. And
I did find it sweet that when he spoke to that monk, because he was in the state he was in, where his whole like false materialistic identity, all of that had crashed, he could like see that the monk was the real deal. Well, that was nice.
Yeah. For context, the guy did white collar crime. I guess that's it.
Oh, yeah. I feel like it'd be really hard to watch a live stream about a show you hadn't watched.
Yeah.
Like at this point in the live stream. I don't know. Maybe not. I was kind of bummed that the little sister just ended up going back to being like the mum. I had a lot of hope for her.
That's White Lotus, baby. We all, and that was kind of the takeaway from this season, was kind of like, everyone gives in to the monkey. Like, we're all just like, looking for our financial security, our well-being, the well-being of the people closest to us. And it's like what's her name? She's there like apprenticing from the White Lotus, Belinda. Yeah. Like, even she at the end of the day was willing to take the bag.
We maybe need to talk about her separately, because I might have a controversial opinion on her.
Oh.
But the Piper storyline, I think one of the reasons it kind of bums me out that she just ends up being like she could have just been like, oh, I don't want to live at the monastery. And it's like, yeah, but you can still like you don't have to throw all those spiritual values out the window just because you don't want to live at the monastery for a year. But it felt like she did this complete turnaround of like, I'm just going to be I'm throwing all that away, which kind of made me sad, because then like the commentary is just like, oh, classic, white girl, just kind of co-opting these traditions and then whatever. But I think as a person who like derives a lot of value from like Eastern spiritual teachings, that's always like a chat. Like, I see that it's true, and I'm just like, oh, but there's also like people that like, like find ongoing value in those teachings.
Yeah.
Even though we are just dumb white girls.
Yes, we are. And we, I don't think you have to go to an ashram to like understand what Buddha was on about. Mm-hmm. He was on about getting that fit glow up. Right? You look better when you dress better when you're enlightened. You don't have to do that. You don't have to like go be a devotee somewhere. In fact, I feel like a lot of the devotee process is for you to like graduate from that kind of thinking and just be your own person who understands and embodies, or tries to embody, is on a path of embodying those core concepts.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
What do we think, chat? So wild, and actually so true and on point, that like the dad who is going through this mental breakdown, reckoning with the terrible things he's done, is like so much more ready to kill his whole family and himself than have a conversation.
I know.
And it's
because they're not going to prison.
Yeah.
And they're young, and again, you guys are connected, and they didn't do it. That, your kids will get jobs, And
she's like, I need the wealth and the finances. He's like, oh shit, now I'm gonna have to kill you too.
Like, I don't think that's on you to decide. Yeah.
Oh, it's really actually terrifying and not funny at all, like how common it is. We see it like in the news here. It feels like once a month there's a Utah man who takes out the family. It's really fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
And it's like because they've been so conditioned to be out of touch with their feelings and avoidant of their feelings, and have these shame, like so much embodied shame, that they can't even just talk about things and really reveal what's inside them, because they don't know what's inside them. They don't know how to reckon with the outside of a lens of shame, which is, I think, what drives a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Preferring death over feeling a feeling at the end of the day, just because you don't quite know what that feeling is, but it feels huge and unmanageable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the male thing, like, we feel so worthless and belittled, like any way, when we're rejected, when we're seen as not enough, and men who are really lonely and maybe stuck in these shameful systems, just like internalize, and it just builds into resentment and anger, and then eventually it's just like, I'm not worth it, you're not worth it, everything is and that's not the only reason, but it feels easy to like, would be a commonality there.
I saw this.
I say that from maybe just my own projections about wrestling through that process and those feelings and that experience.
Really well said. I saw a Substack thing today where someone said, we're always talking about the male loneliness epidemic lately, but like women with children have been lonely for generations and no one's given a shit because they also haven't started killing people for it.
Yeah.
Let's read this super chat from B. Can't stay long, but it's nice to pop on and see your beautiful faces. Hope you guys are having a lovely Tuesday. I am having a lovely Tuesday. It kind of hurts. This spring is crazy. Thank you, B.
And so nice to be together on a Tuesday so early in the week when we're still so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Yeah. And an editing-free week. What a gift. I can pour it all into my mediocre poetry.
Enjoy. We did record a claymation podcast, so that will be coming out soon, if that wasn't clear from the other references.
You guys are gonna
love it. I do wish we had seen, I feel like there could have been such a huge payoff of seeing the family react.
I know. I really wanted to see them react.
And it just left us without it, which
I know. I was looking forward to that all season.
If it was intended to kind of be that's how life is, I was like, there is no resolution, kind of like the Buddha guy said. The Lama or whoever was what his hierarchical position was. But I was like, it felt almost like a snub. We deserve to see it. We should have or at least caught a glimpse. Or
that's something I've kind of historically loved about White Lotus is it feels like you do get satisfying resolution at the end of the season. I don't even Severance. I love Severance, obviously, but I just find shows with season cliffhangers a bit I like that White Lotus is a self-contained story, so they don't have to do gimmicky things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now they could continue the story of that family into season 4 and in the way that they've continued on these common thread stories, Belinda and Gary, the old billionaire.
Is it rude to eat crisps on a live stream?
No, that's
it's it's the worst.
If it's rude at this, if they don't know this about us, you knew what I was when you picked me up. We be munching, okay? We encourage you to get your snack of choice and munch along.
And for those of you, that's what I was thinking about this yesterday. When people do mukbangs, how do they not have it just be constant mouth sounds?
Some people, I think, maybe are there for the mouth sounds.
Then you're gonna love
that. Might be part of it. I don't know.
Do you think Saxon, the older son, it seems like he had a genuine turnaround from seeing Rick and Chelsea's love? And someone pointed out on Threads or something that in the end, he was reading the book she gave him openly on the boat, and how we kind of saw him go from he never would have read it to reading it in secret to reading it openly on the boat. The shot of the 3 siblings basically on the boat was just very interesting.
The first shot of them on the boat was the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, which was great. That's a little attention to detail there. So he's gonna need that book in an hour.
Yeah, but he almost seemed kind of all right with it by the end.
All right with what?
Well, I felt like his ego diminished throughout the season in a healthy way.
Yeah. He was like, oh shit, this is what my brother's getting from me and what he thinks I'm about. And it's because of this attitude that I am constantly projecting. And this woman who's really hot and down to do something a little edgy, actually I'm not able to connect with that way, even though I'm seen as the slut because I'm constantly projecting that. And then there's this person who I desire, who sees me on a more spiritual level, who I can't get with because she just doesn't respect me as a person because of this thing I'm constantly projecting. I love
how openly she'd just be because you don't have a soul. It's just the truth. I'd love to be able to get away with that level of this is what I think. Yeah, honestly, in the end,
if you were in Aries,
I thought the handjob storyline was really good. That was a really interesting way to sort of tell that story. Because it was viscerally agonizing. But I thought the brother's explanation, I was oh, he seems pretty tapped in, and that I'm a bit less disturbed hearing that. Given that he was his sexuality was completely undeveloped. He was on a drug that was completely unfamiliar to him.
Yeah.
It made sense. I was worried the storyline was going to turn into something horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, they played that as maybe as minimally as you can with incest. Yeah, horrifying, hard to watch. I thought we finished that. I thought that was over after Game of Thrones, but we're back.
John Oliver called HBO the Incest Network. It's in House of the Dragon as well, apparently.
Damn it. And religious people don't love White Lotus. God's all about that, as we learned from Saturday's Warrior and everything in the Bible. Something I was thought of when you were talking about that conversation that they had was sometimes I struggle in movies when it feels too formulaic. And when you like understand kind of like the mechanics of screenwriting, where you have to have this kind of exposition at this point in time and these kind of roles solidified in the viewer's mind and intimation of the journey that they're on, then sometimes it can feel a little too like by the book when the person is like, I'm just here and this is my role and this is an important conversation that we need to be having.
The stakes have just been raised.
Yeah. Let me just like on the fly say exactly what I need to say to like explain this thing that would probably in real life be much harder to get to. And I love mumblecore movies where it feels like just how real people talk with all the ums and ers and pauses and false starts and non sequiturs.
I'm like, I wouldn't need a murder in every White Lotus season.
I do.
Oh, really?
My eyes need a treat of blood or they won't be satisfied.
Okay, I love this question because I have thoughts. What did you think of the three friends? Love the final speech.
Oh, yeah. I heard a bunch of their stuff got cut. They said the original writer, I forget his name, but the guy who was on Survivor, that he just loved those girls and like had written a ton about them and was like loved talking with them and like getting into their characters and was really fascinated by them. But then just through the beast of making television, a lot of it got cut. But I loved them. The three women were so good.
I loved it too. That it really is so special when people have known you in multiple phases of life. And there's that sense of like loyalty and like bond that you kind of don't have to question. Like, I think that's really healthy to have people like that in your life who I feel like this with our friendship, like the versions of me you have known make me like cringe so bad. But there's something about knowing that a person kind of like connected with your essence, even, you know what I mean? I think it helps you make peace with like past versions of yourself. And it gives you kind of more of a trust in like the bond you can have with other people that isn't, because, adult relationships to a certain degree are conditional, and that's like that's sort of like a healthy thing. But we are also wired to need like deep tribal bonds that aren't so easily, fractured. So I just think those relationships are like such a gift if you have them in your life.
Totally.
What was a bummer for me was like how the women were all still like, they're all like in their 40s and they're all still like playing out a lot of like toxic bullshit throughout the season. I feel like I've been lucky to see a reduction in that. So, it seems tough.
Yeah. And maybe just the reality of the demographic. Between me, you, and Banksy, who's the three girls? Banksy's the actress.
You would be the actress. I'll be you. So I guess, Banksy, you're the Trump supporter.
Damn it, Banksy.
And I'm the one who slept with
with Vlad.
Blood. Oh my God. When he was like, you have $10,000 you can send me. Another just White Lotus is really good at making you viscerally cringe.
Mm-hmm. The end, I was as we were watching, Ash was the first to be like, that's his dad. And then I was like, oh yeah, they totally found someone.
Michael
that, like,
knew that all
season
like him. Somehow.
I kind of was expect after that. I was like, oh yeah, it seems like they intentionally got somebody who looks like him. And had they not wanted to do that, it would have been a bit more mysterious. Like he could have just been Ty or whatever. So yeah. I
thought this was kind of one of my gripes with the finale, was like, this guy knows that this guy that came to his house and was violent towards him is staying at this hotel, and his security is just kind of like wandering off pretty easily. None of it made sense to me. And then like,
yeah, and why would they go back to the hotel that the guy owns
him,
that they know he's staying at? Like, none of it makes sense.
Yeah, like him antagonizing him didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I felt that same.
And well, I guess I was curious about what would make Rick's mom lie.
Whose mom?
Rick. Because Rick's mom basically told him a lie, that he had a father that this man killed.
Maybe it was easier to say that, like, he killed your father a la Darth Vader, the Darth Vader trope. That, like, the version of your father that I knew is dead, killed by the version of him that I can't accept, because it also, like, I'm sure she felt like rejected by him, and maybe that he was.
See, my mind went to rape, because
maybe that too.
Because he was like, I knew she was a slut and a drunk, and then I was like, I don't know, like, why else would she not just be like, your father's a terrible man?
I think probably the shame. I would guess.
But shame, it didn't sound like they were together.
Yeah, but maybe she thought they could be or something. And he was just like, you're a slut and a drunk, and
yeah,
get the hell out of here. But who knows? Anyway, it felt like the whole, like, that he didn't tell him that. He was just like, get the fuck out of here. And then afterwards she was like, wait, you're his dad. He told me. I was like, wait, he told you? What? Okay.
Yeah, and why would...
fine, but I'm like,
why would that guy not tell him?
I don't know. Let me like, hey, dude, I'm your dad, but, like, get out of here. Like, I don't... Maybe that was it. He's just like, he's too avoidant too. And that's the whole thing.
Yeah. They did do the like father, like son thing.
Okay, the whole season did peak during the and then I wanted to be the girl watching me get fucked.
Okay, yeah. I would love to chat about that. What did you think about Rick's friend and his storyline? I have thoughts, but I don't I'd prefer to hear yours first.
It was nice to see him. I think he's in the movie Seven Psychopaths is what I recognized him from. And I love that movie. So I was like, oh, a fun character I know.
Is that the sequel to Seven Brides and Seven Brothers?
Yeah. Yep.
They're bad boys in this one.
Yep. The women get their revenge. The men are sobbing, getting sodden, half and sodden. All right.
When I saw Seven Brides with Seven Brothers, I was like, so this is just a film about like men kidnapping women? Like, what the hell?
And then, like,
and then every woman around me loved it because they'd grown up with it.
Yeah, totally.
I'm like, well, that's influenced your psyche for sure.
Yeah, literally, like, kidnapping and Stockholm syndroming women. And then, yeah, it's right. It's like I grew up on that. I grew up on The Music Man, which is like a con artist comes to town and tricks everyone. And when it finds out that he was a con artist and doesn't know shit about music, everyone's like, oh, but he made us feel good about ourselves, so let him out. And then we're like, okay, he's in charge of the band now. Like, what? What? Yeah, wild era of musicals, malevolent white musicals.
But the guy saying what was it that he like on some level was an Asian woman or something. I guess I thought that whole speech was obviously brilliant. I didn't get like a trans vibe from that speech. I just thought it was like him. He clearly has this like set of qualities that he kind of ascribes to that demographic, and that's a part of him that he's rejected, basically.
Mm-hmm. And maybe it's like a egoic level dip into super consciousness that he's like really in some way bodily feeling, or at least recreating the experience of being somebody else in some other experience in a way that
feel empathy for the first time and be like, maybe I am that woman.
Maybe I should try the 5 noble steps or whatever Buddhism.
The Eightfold Path.
The Eightfold
Path. The 5
Path.
Noble Truths.
Yeah.
So any more thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe is there a more specific question about it? That was enjoyable to watch. It was a kind of curveball of the series that was like, oh, what? Okay. Like that just happened. That just happened. I'm giving that the Epic Bacon Award.
What's that from?
We did this.
Is that from anything?
It's just millennial core.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see what the comments have to say.
Rigoletto.
Oh my God.
Phantom of the Opera for Mormon children.
Are we talking about Rigoletto? Let's change the topic. We're going to Rigoletto.
I've never seen it, but it
fucking
sounds
love
perfect.
Rigoletto. It's great because it was by like a Mormon movie company that did make stuff for the church. It's like the Angel Videos of their time. Or I don't think Angel Video actually does stuff for the church. I don't know. Maybe they do. But anyway, yeah, it's Kurt Bester, who is great, a great musician and composer. And it's kind of like a Beauty and the Beast story where there's this wealthy monster, just a human with a deformed face who has a beautiful operatic voice. And this girl who goes to him for music lessons because she wants to be the best singer in the town. And gradually, love more than anything teaches our hearts to sing. And
so Hilary Duff raised your voice,
there was a melody lost deep inside of me, but now it's free.
Yeah.
And
you've just described the plot of Hilary Duff's Raise Your Voice.
So they stole it from Rigoletto. Wait, does she have a deformed monster kind of guy? See, he has a bad temper too.
No, I was stretching.
Oh, okay.
But it sounds amazing. We should watch it.
It's great. I love it. And I listen to the soundtrack once in a while. Like it'll just pop in my head and I'm like, I'm going to give that a listen. And then I'm like, only bops. So good. Does this one in Italian? But I'm like, Dolce amore.
Perfect.
It's great. Yeah, real good. Thanks for bringing that up. Little teaching. Oh, let's see. We're back to being a little Asian girl. Let's see.
I think these are from quite a while ago.
Cultural touchstone.
That was 7 Brides and 7 Brothers.
Okay.
Like we're a while
it's
back.
hard. Yeah, it's hard to know what's what, and I can't be bothered to figure out. I'm just vibing. I'm not trying to figure out what's what. Yeah, Rigoletto, great movie, and the no like overt Mormonism, which is great.
Mm.
It's just
what a treat for you as a kid.
Town. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not a Sunday film though.
Unfortunately, not a Sundays film. Not enough. Open God. Veggie Tales was fine because those veggies worship the Lord openly.
Yeah.
But yeah. Did you have any favorite musicals as a kid?
Not off the top of my head that I can think of.
Favorite musical currently, Theater Camp. If you can call it that.
Camp is so good, yeah.
It was so good.
I did love Wicked as a teen and like a lot of stuff like that. And
How'd
then
you
as
like
a kid, I guess I loved Cinderella. Oh, I loved the Wicked movie.
Yeah.
Has anyone said that they didn't?
I'm sure
outside of Christians.
Ben, what's his name?
Just assume if there's a movie you like, Ben Shapiro hates it.
Yeah. No,
but he likes the set design of the Barbie movie.
I went in ready to be a hater of Wicked.
Really? See, what is this in you?
And no, just a critique. Not I was like ready to. I lower my expectations too. That's another thing. I always have to like consciously lower my expectations. I'm like, I'm not going to enjoy this. It's not going to live up to the hype. I'm going to be bothered by this, and that. And then I will get out sometimes and be like, that was just fantastic, or that was good. And that one I was like, and I think because it was 3 hours, I was like, so many movies are like cash grab. We're going to extend this for 5 hours and then do another 5-hour part 2. And I'm like, please just wrap it the fuck up. But honestly, the pacing was really good. And like, again, so much attention to detail. All the choreography was really great.
Yeah.
The singing was captivating. I was like, that was a great movie. Loved it.
Okay. What did you think about the security guard and Mook? So she's like a famous K-pop star. Did you know that?
I do now.
So I think when you have like a really famous person in a cast like that, like to me, Mook's character wasn't like developed in any way. She was just there to represent like gay talk, getting the girl, getting the pay rise, you know? Like she wasn't really like a character in her own right. She didn't have any development.
Did not pass the Bechdel test.
No, but I think that's probably A, just because she was like a plot device, but B, because she's famous. Apparently, like a lot of the time people's teams will be like, you can't write her to this or that because we don't want her actual image being changed by this role.
Yeah.
So you can't really write her as anyway. So that could be it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the thing there was like he did sell out for money in the girl, and that made me sad because I guess the whole time in the season, whenever you saw something pure and beautiful about someone that does reflect like Buddhist teachings, for example, it was just crushed out of them.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
It is. Yeah. I mean, I'd sell out for her. I'd just say it. If she was on the table and I was like a security guard and I was like, my art and Buddhism, and she was like, bro, you're going to leave that instead of being a security guard who fucking shoots people, I'd be like, you know what? I've changed my mind.
I get it. She's beautiful, but I just think he's beautiful too. And
he is, and beautiful of heart. And, you know, sometimes conflict is inevitable and sometimes violence is inevitable. And he was sort of in a tactical, you know,
he didn't actually do anything,
or like a defensive position, although he did shoot someone in the back as they were obviously carrying a wounded person across the bridge. Like, was it necessary for him to shoot when he could have just like ran up on him? Probably
Hear me
not.
out. This is a little bit like Mystic, but I saw someone make the commentary that like him killing Rick. I mean, I was like, oh, Rick's so lucky.
Rick needed to die. I thought they were going to kill Rick.
Like that was grace for Rick. Like it was good, probably good for Rick that he got to die is my own point.
Sometimes getting shot.
But
in the
I'm
back
like,
is
it possible? Because he obviously paused, right? He like froze in play. Is it possible that he kind of like fell into the moment and was like, what is required here? What is for the best? And maybe it was killing Rick.
I think he did. It was like, this guy just shot the owner of this hotel.
Probably gonna carry on being violent for the rest of his life. Like,
yeah, that was not going to be a good.
Yeah, he probably would have just done more damage. So,
now talk about an archetypal journey of setting out to murder the guy who killed your dad, only to find out that he is your dad, and
nightmare.
Your desire to destroy that was only your wounded little child acting out that just needed your love and attention rather than parasiting off of the love and attention of a beautiful British Aries woman who was willing to offer that, but could offer it to somebody else who could match the energy.
I saw someone saying on Reddit she was a gold digger who thought she was more, and I was like, no. You're not coming with that Chelsea slander.
I mean, gold digger in the sense that she needs to make money and needs to, and we all like.
Well, she genuinely loved Rick.
Yeah, and those two can go hand in hand.
Also, their story, meaning Gaytok and Mook, their story wasn't as interesting as the other local characters' stories in previous seasons. Which, may have just been because she was so famous and that was part of it. Who's to really say? But yeah, I agree. It was pretty much just like the same thing happening over and over.
Oh.
When they did the scene of them on the first date, though, when like both of them basically realized it wasn't good. I thought they just captured that energy perfectly of when you're on a date with someone and then you're just suddenly like, oh, well, we are like completely wasting our time here. Like, what do we do now?
Yeah. Why did we buy a full day of laser tag tickets?
Happens to all of us at BYU, Idaho.
Cool thing about the show, everybody on the staff, I think on the staff, not just the acting staff, but I could be mistaken. It could have just been all the actors, got the same wage.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And crazy that it took like 8 months to shoot. It was like 8 months for like 8 episodes.
Is that a long time or not long?
A long time.
Is it though?
Yeah, and they're all like staying on location, and the actors have talked about how it got a little like...
Oh, they had to all live there for 8 months?
Yeah, it got a little messy. And I mean, imagine living with your coworkers.
Oh my God, like in what way? Yeah, that would be nuts.
Well, as
actors
as the dad said, he was like, you know, it's like summer camp for adults. And at summer camp, I can't even remember how his real accent is, but he's like, at summer camp, you have like little cliques that form and there's activities that happen, but not everybody can be invited to every activity. And some people get their feelings hurt by that. Just being totally messy on me. And I love it. No. And the girl who plays Chelsea talked about her and one of the other actresses hopping out to Japan because they're like, we just gotta like go be real people for a minute, because they all kind of like sunk into their characters because they're just on set in this environment with nobody else around really to normalize with. Oh, we sure do. Thank you. Wow, thank you. I'm normally not a double stuffer, but I like that they're stuffed with little Oreo.
Do you want a cup of soy milk?
Do the Oreos feel pain when they're processed? Like
no,
that?
They don't feel anything. They like it. They beg for
good.
it. Do you want a cup of milk?
A cup of milk for dunking? I'm actually good on the milk. Thank you. Wow, snack attack. Banksy looks on and wonder when he will get a snack. Everyone say hi to Banksy. Kelly B says my coworker wouldn't watch Wicked because she heard it was too woke. When I asked her, what do you mean? Surprise, surprise. She couldn't give me a solid answer. Yeah, there's a person of color.
I was going to say, starring. Black person in it.
They hate that.
And a ginger. So it's just normalizing all kinds of things. Did that book that got banned by the conservatives that was like just about a girl having red hair and learning to accept herself? Like that was the book. Even that is threatening to them.
Hey, I'm sure all the gingers in the chat can tell you how hard it was to be a ginger in the early aughts.
Yeah.
When there was like the South Park, like gingers don't have souls.
My best friend Helena, who's an actress, was ginger, and she like you have to choose to lean into it basically.
Yeah.
Like she like was like, I'm gonna own the comedy for myself. And that I think is the best way to handle that.
Wow, that is delicious.
Yeah.
Banksy used to bleach and dye his fur coat. He was ashamed of being ginger. He just got so tired of all the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And now he's just out and proud. And I think it's really sweet.
He's come a long way.
He has. This industry eats cats up like him for breakfast. Was that a real sentence? Did I say that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, Banksy, they're loving you in the chats. Thank you, Kirsten. They're loving you. You can do no wrong in their eyes. I want to do a series called Off White Lotus, where we're just like in the pool at the Motel 8 or whatever. We got a decent Airbnb with some pretty weird restrictions at weird hours, but all our friends from high school are here and we're going to have a cool time and no one's going to drown. You said that there was some like spiritual implications of the show. Did we get to those?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've kind of been talking about them throughout.
Okay, relatable content though. The mom being like, I can't live without luxury at this age. Mm-hmm. I was like, me neither.
I know.
A day without a hot shower would kill me. Just kidding. I could do it. I've done it lots of times. I don't shower
every
day.
Shower is really nice. A hot shower is nice.
It is. That's one of my gratitudes. I'm like, I sit there and I'm like, this is the luckiest shit in the world. Like, I'm the luckiest fucking little monkey to be sitting here under hot water that just turns on at my command. That is crazy.
It's one of those things where it's like, where is the bath, or where it's like, that's a luxury, but it's okay for us. And I think a hot shower, like, I think we could have a sustainable world where everyone gets a hot shower. I don't think that's one of the, obviously, like, the level of rich in White Lotus is like so unfathomable to us. I think everyone deserves a hot shower.
Yeah.
But the other day I was in such a good mood because of the spring that I did 30 seconds of cold shower at the end of my shower as like an homage to an ice bath.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you know I'm doing well, where I'm like, let's jack up the dopamine a little bit with a 30-second cold rinse.
And easier when the air is a little warmer and you're not going to be like freezing afterward. Though actually my house can be like way colder in the warmer months, which I don't enjoy as much.
Yeah, because Americans are addicted to air conditioning.
They are. It's fucked up.
Yeah. You have to bring a jumper to a restaurant.
Yeah. I don't. As an Arizona boy, I'm always packing a fleece or a jacket of some kind because warm weather can't be trusted. The insides will betray you. I know I said this a million
times, but think how much America could reduce its carbon footprint by raising the temperature in air-conditioned hot places by like 5 degrees in the summer, which would still be cold. You're coming in from 100 and like, oh no, it's 75. You'll be fine. Right now it's like 62.
Oh, 75. I'd vibe in a 75.
Coming from 100. Yeah, it's so wildly unnecessary to me how cold they make it.
It can suck if you're living like higher up in a house where the heat rises, like being on a second story in Salt Lake with no AC in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, that's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, every coffee shop doesn't need to be 62 degrees in the summer.
Yeah, I'm not about that. I'm like, y'all, don't you see I am in shorts and in tankini?
I actually might get back into tankinis this year. I might reclaim tankinis.
Yeah. Is a tankini just like a top?
It's top? Like, it's not a one piece. It shows like a bit of stomach. But yeah, it's like a tank top.
I want a tankini.
My thing is like, then you just don't tan. But you don't tan anyway.
Right. I'm 10-off. Are these fish Swedish?
Didn't someone tell us about a vegan snack bar that wanted to work with us last? And we were supposed to contact a man called Brian. And
I was like, meet in the alleyway.
And here we are.
A man in a trench coat and Brian will greet you. Do not look him in the eyes. Yeah, what happened to that?
I mean,
friends in high places in the chat. Hit us up. We should have a partnership with a snack and a beverage company because we are mukbanging out here every day.
We should not be freely promoting Lay's.
No, it's heinous.
Yeah. Evil, honestly. We're evil.
We are evil, fallen critters. We don't deserve redemption. Let's talk about resurrection. I don't think the numbers add up. I mean, not even resurrection, also reincarnation. I don't think the numbers add up.
Tell me more.
Well, if life starts out as a single protozoa or a group of protozoa, I don't know, then life will keep growing in numbers. And if every life form has a soul that's transferring from one to another, I mean, you're starting with one and then you've made 2 lives. Well, now this one goes to what? Just... if anything, we're splitting our soul.
Horcruxes.
Yeah. And the world is just one huge... we're all Horcruxes for the soul of the world.
Especially Banksy.
Banksy's got a few of them.
That's why he has to die on this live stream.
Yeah. And then if it just keeps going like that, I don't think the numbers... I just don't think it adds up.
Yeah, like literal soul resurrection or reincarnation has never really felt... interesting to me, I guess. When people are like, do you think you had a past life? Is this or that? I'm like, no. Are you talking about one of my ancestors? Because in my mind, that's what a past life is. Like that's if there's any kind of like genetic memory or it's them. It's that genetic code just winding its way down to me. So that's how I think of it. Kind of like the higher power thing. I was doing a hypnosis thing and just talking about higher power, and obviously it can mean whatever you want it to mean.
But that one I'm like, what even does that mean? I could think of like a
Higher
older
power?
Yeah, if like there's or your higher self, not your higher power. A higher power I can even understand. But like a higher self, I was like, the higher thing that I'm connecting to is not the self at all. So I don't really like relate to the higher self other than, just like the universe at large or the world at large. And me, this like focal point of the universal consciousness. And so when I'm like thinking about a higher self, I'm really thinking about like a version of me down the road that is less egoic and more living the life that I want to be, living, healthier, happier version of me.
Yeah, I think you can use it in various ways. Like you can use it to mean sort of like the version of yourself that is living really in alignment with your values. Or I kind of see my higher self as like my most radically honest self, like the self that's able to confront itself most fully without like looking through like tinted lenses where possible, like through delusions, through distortions. Like that to me is kind of my higher self. Like it is very easy in the day-to-day to get lost in stories that are kind of just running in your brain, whether you believe them or not. So like they obviously do have an impact on the ways you'll start looking at the world, especially if you're kind of going on autopilot for various, or numbing out, whatever. Anyway, yeah, I do feel like higher self, like as a concept to me is just like, I guess a combo of both those definitions.
Yeah. And if someone's your future self, then even if you've managed to look past the stories and, get to that higher or inner more perspective, then the next version of you, the next minute version of you, the older version of you that embodies that it's the same thing either way, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, yeah.
My higher self is one who's done at least 4 roaches of cannabis, ganja kush monkey, squat belly. That's the only strain I do. And that's connected with my higher self. Yeah.
Okay, you cats are getting way too comfortable on the counter right now. They're tag teaming their request for an early dinner.
Oh, Bernie seldom graces the stream with his presence. What's up, buddy? He was being so cute earlier.
I just had a super chat come through.
Oh, that's right. I started salivating and I didn't know why.
It's from Allison. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. If you're new, we have Venmo as well as super chat.
Allison.
What else is there to talk about White Lotus? I'm not determined to keep talking about it.
No, we can talk about Severance. We can talk about anything we want.
Or just not TV.
Yeah.
I love that I don't have to watch as much TV to survive in the spring. Winter, it's like there's not a lot else to do.
Okay, but hear me out. Hacks this week.
New season?
Yes.
When's it coming out?
It's like this week. I don't know.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Last season made me laugh. It's specifically Kayla and Jimmy are like I was crying at their scenes with the giant falcon where he has to just like be okay with it.
I love him ever since Broad City.
Me too.
Kirk Steele.
They are such a brilliant comedy duo.
Yeah. And yeah, so good. I hope it's as good. I hope.
I know. They haven't let us down so far.
No, that show, see that one, I was immediately hooked. Episode 1, I was like, this is great. Let's go.
Yeah, really. It's nice to have a character you can relate to, but I hate that I relate to her.
A rich old comedian?
No, sorry. Just the young, scrappy writing intern.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brooklyn, for the super chat. Are you going to be at the Bernie rally? Tanner's in New York, and if we were going, we probably wouldn't say it on the internet. That's all I'll say. But if we do end up going, you'll probably see us posting about it after.
If you don't see us there physically, we'll be there with the StreamYard duck in spirit.
Thank you to Robina as well via Venmo. YouTube overlords get no money. Appreciate you guys. Anywhere randomly fun to check out in London? Thank you so much, first of all. Randomly fun to check out.
The Forbidden Wing of Buckingham Palace. I highly recommend if you can do what it takes to get in.
London. I just think like
we went to that fancy tea place.
Yeah, it's fun to get afternoon tea. You could go to like Bees of Bloomsbury by St. Paul's, or there's a lot of places you can go, but they have a vegan one. I don't know. London this time of year, especially if you're going soon, it's just going to be so nice to walk around and just like find little places.
Go see a show.
Yeah, I feel like all my recommendations for England are like go to the Lake District, go to this countryside place. But I think London's great. You'll have an easy time having a good time there. You should definitely try and go to, I don't know, I guess like maybe Camden, depending on your vibe. I don't know. I'm not like an expert on London, to be honest. I just like it there. And especially in the spring, it's all nice. Feeling so peaceful this week is absolutely insane.
Yeah. It is so nice.
Like the fact that we get to go outside after this and it's like
blossoming.
The world is like asking you to come out.
Yeah. Do you ever get springtime anxiety where you're like, it's here, that means it's already going to be over?
I'm very aware of how short it is. And so I really just try and make the most of it every single day.
I'm going on walks every day.
Me too. I read poetry up at the Capitol yesterday under the cherry blossoms.
Wow.
In the morning, Tanner. Wow. Before lunch, before noon.
At the steps of the office of
government.
And
then I wrote a poem. I shared it on my Substack. I was like, I'm living a completely different life. If only I could find a way for that to be like financially lucrative.
Nope, it's La Vida Loca, baby.
It's just La Vida Loca.
Yeah, it's one poem at a time.
One poem at a time.
I do need to get up and see the blossoms there.
You should go today.
I mean, like my house is surrounded by them, which is
I love your
so
street.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, your pictures look great. Did the pictures from the hands off rally here?
I know. I was so proud of Salt Lake, seeing everyone at the Capitol. Like, as someone who goes to the Capitol a lot, I'm like, that's a lot of people. Like, I feel like, that was really impressive. I've been to other rallies that haven't been anything like that.
Yeah.
I heard that like 1.5% of the country protested.
Wow.
On April 5th. And apparently, like, once resistance reaches like 3.5%, generally a movement can't survive. Just interesting, especially in light of the fact that the green card holders who have been deported are typically people who have been involved in protesting.
Yay.
Oh, I meant it. Yeah, I mean, that's bad, but like, no wonder, because it is effective, I guess, to whatever degree.
Yeah.
What did I just say that was goals right there? Oh, the poem thing. Yeah, I felt like it.
Get up to the Capitol and the poetry will flow.
Yeah. Poetry is one of those one poem at a time things, because it's like you have to just like write 1,000 poems to one day write a brilliant poem, I assume.
That's pretty much what most...
Which is everything, which is why I never want to do anything. So like, I'm not good enough.
You gotta do 1,000 of them.
Yeah. So you have to have like, when you're a teenager and you have like a bit of an inflated sense of how good you are at stuff, that's actually very helpful at that time.
Not me.
I feel like it spurs you to keep doing things that if you had an accurate sense of like how far away you were from being good, you wouldn't want to do it. But like, I don't know, I just feel like every teenager is a little bit delusional, but that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
But you have to try and maintain that as an adult who's like kind of amateur at things, which is hard.
Yeah, but hopefully you fall in love with the process, and it's the act of making that becomes enjoyable. And usually that is like the start of our enjoyment of it. It's like, oh, writing a little thing ended up being fun. Painting a little picture ended up being fun.
But I do think there's times, and it probably just like depends on the thing as well and your personality. But there's times where I'm like, but I wouldn't put this like extra amount of time into like writing a poem if it was just for my own enjoyment and I like never thought I'd share it anyway. I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends.
Yeah.
Hard to know.
But Ash was telling me how the one of the singers of Muna was talking about how they write like 5 songs a day and most of them are just like total garbage.
Wow.
I'm like, 5 songs a day, shut up. And wow. And if they're bad, they're bad. And they're probably bad to you and to other people would like, for her at her level.
But I mean, we obviously do get to hear like Muna's best stuff. That is also true.
We do.
5 a day, yeah.
But then, they come out of the process, and that's something that what's his name producer always talks about in all his media that's been getting around since his book came out. Rick Rubin and all those types, all those creative commenters. They're like, just keep doing it, just keep creating, just
it's
don't
like, yeah,
stop
I
doing
know
it.
I would love to, but my depression won't let me.
Like, that's just a story you're telling yourself to avoid creating because you're afraid of how much you'll love it.
So I'm using depression colloquially.
Everything I say colloquially. It's just here between us. It has no objective meaning. I'm gisting. I'm speaking in metaphors, riddles, and rhymes.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to most this springtime?
Just camping and being outside. I know and honestly, I'm really enjoying the new mindset I have about life and creativity. And right now, poems. Like, it's really fun for me to be reading poetry and, writing poems when I can. It feels exciting. I don't know. It feels like there's something there that is like true to me and that has like potential, and I don't know. Yeah.
Poetry is a type of prayer.
I know. I completely agree. And I was going to say that earlier. That's kind of been my prayer lately, because it really is like, it's like we all know we should be off our phones and be in the world more. And lately I've just found poetry to be like this nice incentive for me to do that. Because it's like, well, you're not going to write a poem if you're on your phone. Like, it's just unlikely. You need your brain to like slow down and take things in more consciously to write a poem. And just like knowing like, oh, I'll be able to write a poem if I do that. Like, it just feels like a nice reward for doing the thing that's healthy anyway.
Yeah.
Because I do like to feel like productive, even though I'm definitely like a slow liver, a gentle liver. Gentle
livers.
There was a poem that Billy Collins. Have you heard of Billy Collins? I never heard of him, but apparently he was like the poet laureate twice. But he just wrote this really beautiful little. He writes about being a poet a lot, which I've just found kind of interesting. And because I really like every poet, I relate to poets, I guess. Like, I guess I feel like I am a poet archetypally. But he wrote this lovely little poem about how it was like Monday morning in Paris. And like, everyone's going about their thing. And the poet is just standing by a window, like taking things in. It was obviously beautifully written. And I can't really like tell you about a poem that well, but yeah.
So that's one you've been vibing with?
Yeah, I've been liking him.
Nice.
He writes like quite simple poems. Like, it's kind of like pre-Rupee Kaur in a way, but a bit less Instagram than Rupee Kaur.
It's funny how, I guess, as I get older and mature in creativity and art and things, like, I used to feel like poetry had to be a certain thing, and there was a lot that I was like, I would get like more upset at poetry easier because I'm like, because ultimately, and this is why it's a prayer, poetry is like such a romanticization of life, of just like taking a moment and like alchemizing it into something that will like hold that moment in it forever. And it takes that like intentionality and that focus and that dedication. And whenever there was something that I perceived as being bad or whatever, it was usually just like, how dare they, like, I could do that. And how dare they like romanticize something so simple? And it's like, well, that really is it, isn't it? Like, it is like romanticizing as like much as you can. Like, that, I think that's just like a good mindset for life.
And I just think we should all be able to see the value in that. Even if you think someone's poetry is bad, it's just like, that's so great.
Yeah. And I don't, even if there's stuff that I don't like, or I'm like, it doesn't, these, no rhyme, no meter, no, whatever. I'm not that like critiquey about it. I like it right now.
No rhyme.
Yeah. Oh.
My poem's
not even good.
I'm like, the presence of rhyme.
That's gonna be
anything but an off-color half rhyme that you can barely notice.
Fucking Donald Trump is going to assign Jeff Bezos to be the chairman of patriotic music. And he's going to be like, I don't really like music, so all poetry is banned unless it's just straightforward. No metaphors, no illusions, no onomatopoeias. Fuck that shit. I can barely say it.
I mean, honestly, you're barely off from fundamentalist Christian
literally
mindsets about art, to be honest.
Literally. I grew up thinking modern art was like such a waste. And like, I don't even get it. Like, what is it? It's nothing. Like, anybody could do that. It's like, yeah, but you didn't. And that's why it's cool, because somebody actually did. And it's making you feel a way. Obviously, it's like forcing you to confront the side of you that like wants to be doing something and is not.
I think you had like more judgment of art as a kid because you were clearly such an artist since the day you were born.
Yeah, so, and I was, I was really into drawing and and there is like a vibe in Mormonism that, and fundamentalist Christianity in general, that like art is for depicting real things, and the measure of good art is like how well does it depict a real thing, not what does it express, what questions does it give rise to, how was it made, what was the process, like none of that really matters. But again, that's not a very mature vision. Questions. Yeah, and thankfully I had a Mormon friend at the time who was like, oh, you should rethink that, like, and I did, and it had a powerful effect on me.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. But look where it got me. You embrace modern art and then you end up in postmodern art.
Nightmare.
Yeah. Then you're just...
Oh, we had a Venmo super chat to read. Oh,
collecting Venmo super chats on the internet.
Thank you, Siobhan. Siobhan. Thank you for the lovely spring stream.
Aww.
Thank you for being part of the lovely spring stream.
Yeah, thank you. We sure do appreciate it. So looking forward to camping. I can't wait. I want to get to the desert so
it's
bad.
So good.
I'm going to scream, someone take me to the desert.
It was even like coat weather the whole weekend, but it was just so with like some periods during the day of just wearing a jumper, but even that was like such a treat. Well, honestly, I had 2 of the best nights sleep, not just camping, but like that I've had in a while.
Whoa.
While camping. I think it was just because it was so silent. And I just felt so like at peace from having been outside, and there was like some kind of like soul relaxation that occurred, because normally I just don't sleep. I just have like a degree of insomnia at all times.
At this age, I need luxury.
Yeah.
No, I feel it. Like just the sounds of outside sometimes can keep my like system on alert like all through the night.
Oh my God. I'm convinced someone's entering my apartment like 7 times a night.
I had a full-blown panic attack in the backwoods of Colorado once. Like every sound was like, oh my God, it's a bear coming to get me.
That's valid though. Did you have bear spray?
I did, yeah.
At least that.
Yeah, but I did not want to have to use it.
Yeah.
Bear spray is a fucking ordeal. Have you ever been around bear spray? It clears you like everything out. It's not just like, get away, bear. It's like everybody in like a half-mile radius is gonna be like, ah!
So presumably, like if you spray bear spray, you got to start running immediately.
Yeah, you better get out of there. Yeah.
Okay.
At least my exposure to bear spray at Liberty Park.
Yeah, you told me about that. And the whole park, which is like 1.5 miles.
Had to evacuate.
That is really crazy.
Yeah. Don't do bear spray, kids.
The hottest new drug, bear spray. That's how dystopian things are getting.
Yeah.
What else would you like to talk about on the stream?
Well, how about we talk about...
We finished our taxes as soon as we submit the final forms.
Yeah.
Just always a win.
Mail that off. I mailed mine to the government, my check to the government today.
Mailed a check?
To the government.
You can't do it online?
No, I needed a number, but we had to get our number from the thing that we're mailing today first. And I was like, I don't want to deal with that. I just want to get it done.
Got it. So I don't even know how I would do a check. I probably have them.
What is a check? Is that very much like paper money? Banksy, you'll never know the ups and downs of the world banking system.
You'll never know how bad the S&P 500 is doing right now, Banksy.
Tariffs will never affect you. You will be continued to be fed regardless. We'll take care of you. Is that a super chat, or is that from long ago? From
Mika Reed, for breaking the confines of my high and giving me the best experience ever through your content. Aww. Thank you so much.
That's very sweet.
Breaking the confines of my high. What does that mean?
Sometimes
like just what I think it means.
I think just what you think it means. And Are people wanting a tarot read with these, or is that you have to specially request? I don't know what the rules are
I
here.
think I said just mention it if you do.
Okay, well, if
not, what was the one we all got as a group? The prayer.
The prayer is yours.
Yeah. Claim the prayer.
Yeah. I've been listening to. Ash introduced me to a band called Baths.
Baths?
Yeah.
Cool.
Turns out my roommate knew him in high school. But great gay music. So that's been on my repeat. What are you listening to?
There's a new Polo and Pan album. Just a lot of like French synth, like bloobity boop. Boop, boop. Yeah, I like that kind of vibe. Very spring and summer.
Yeah.
Just feels like you're on holiday.
Yep. I've been typing that into Spotify. French synth.
Yes, always French synth. Yeah.
French dream pop.
Well, do we wrap up? We've been going for an hour and 25.
We really have been. Anything we need to discuss before we go?
I love when you get quieter and quieter.
We're bringing it in. We're turning the chair around and we're getting real with you guys. Okay. Oh my God, this is such a straddle. Oh,
I've done that.
Yeah.
I wish you guys could see how that's actually quite impressive stretch wise.
Thank you. I did a pole the other day.
Oh yeah.
And injured myself so bad. In the ribs.
Oof,
just from like throwing myself too hard onto it. But my legs are a little stretched out now where this could break me. And may still. We don't know. I could fall face down. But yeah, we're just going to get real with you and talk about the importance of daily stretching. You're going to want to make it a habit because the older you get, the more you're going
to forget.
Really need it. And so yeah, that's just my little reminder to you, my friends.
Thank you, Tana.
Yeah. Now I'm going to get out of this wretched, horrid position. I'm not in the jorts for this.
Oh. You're not far off.
I was watching James Brown the other day.
Who's that?
The godfather of American soul music. And he's was the inspiration for Michael Jackson and everybody else of the era. But he just walks out or jaunts out and then immediately splits, gets back up, splits, splits. And I was like, damn.
Wait,
why? Coke in that era was amazing.
Did I not see your pole video?
What?
Someone said your pole video was amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Didn't see it.
I was just on Instagram.
So sad.
It wasn't that great. I feel self-conscious because anyone who actually does pole makes it look so easy. Mm-hmm. And it is, in fact, so hard.
Yeah.
And so even though I have upper body strength enough to just throw my legs over my head, it was not at all graceful and did in fact injure me. And yeah. So I'm don't praise me for this. You may witness, but don't praise me. Praise the real dancers.
Tana, you make cartwheeling on rollerblades look easy. So
thank you.
Give yourself some credit.
It's so funny. I was thinking the other day, way back in Mormonism, because I was just thinking about all the ways that we've grown as people in the time we've known each other. I was thinking about when
because of the friendship scene in White Lotus.
Yeah, exactly.
Was it really?
No.
It's wow.
But as for our conversation about it, was thinking about how truly horrifically anxious I would get after trying to flirt or initiate a conversation with anyone. And I would just be manically texting you. I'd be like, what do girls like? Cartwheels?
Which was always so interesting because I'm Tana, you're the most charismatic person I know. Just literally be yourself, you'll be fine.
No.
But you had to unlearn that story.
Yeah.
No.
A few other stories had to unlearn first too.
Sure.
But now I'm doing cartwheels on the internet that get upwards of 8 million views.
Yeah.
But it's to say that rollerblading is gay. So.
And that's valid. It is.
And women can still love that.
Yep.
It's allowed.
It's allowed.
I'm going to go out and say something controversial. Women should be allowed to like things.
Yeah. What was the onion thing I saw the other day that was basic? It was basic woman only cares about the things she likes. So I don't know. It was said way better than that. But yesterday I was thinking about how a lot of people have like weird like judgment of pop music. And it's like, obviously you don't have to like pop music, but I'm just like, there's some people that just have like such a visceral disgust for it. Like it almost feels like moral, their like objection to it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, have you ever just let your body fully sink into pop music though? Like it's fucking brilliant. If you played that to our ancestors, like it's one of them, it's like we just take it for granted, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was just thinking like, even if I could only listen to top 40 songs forever, that's like luckier than most of my ancestors.
Yeah. There are people who died without ever hearing.
It's like the 3 folk tunes of the town.
Without ever hearing Mi Espresso, and I honestly pity them.
It's because I watched the Bob Dylan movie as well. And like, obviously Bob Dylan, great musician, not discounting that in any way, but it was interesting seeing like the types of songs that at that time were like wildly revolutionary. And even just in terms of like melody and stuff, like it was just, it was interesting. And that was not that long ago.
Yeah. And it's always like tastes come in contrast to former tastes.
Yes, exactly.
And how'd you like the Bob Dylan movie?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I mean, did a great job doing like a not black or white portrait of him. I mean, I don't know anything about him before that movie, but
well, they should have. He was black and white until 1964 or something like that.
He seemed like an asshole, and he also seemed like he did some good stuff. So you know,
someone who at some award show, I forget, it could have been this recent Oscars. I think it actually was the comedian. I don't know her name. I'm so sorry. I'm not a real feminist.
Oh, is it Nikki Glaser?
Yes, she was so funny.
She's really good.
But she was like, made a joke about Bob Dylan being autistic. That was the joke. And then I was like, oh, damn, maybe that was his deal. And maybe he wasn't always an asshole. Maybe he just, couldn't quite.
Well, and also like it paid off for him to like be that kind of persona that like don't give a fuck. But it was interesting, the contrast with Joan, the woman who was also this gorgeous musician who was brilliant. And it's so classic, right? The woman who's like devoted to her craft and like takes things.
Who's like a much better musician.
Yeah, imagine if she would have been like had that kind of attitude, it never would have worked. So it also showed the sexism of the times really well as well.
Yeah. Oh, her voice is so beautiful.
So beautiful.
And yeah, he was definitely more of a poet than a musician.
Yeah, his voice is just like what it is.
And fucking Joni Mitchell hates him.
Really?
She's like, yeah, everything about him is fake. His voice, his name. She uses a artistic moniker as well.
Oh yeah.
But she didn't like him very much.
Well, I'm on her team.
I'm actually here. I would love to talk 1960s drama because I don't know a lot of what's going on, with Justin Bieber right now. My heart goes out to him. But I don't know a lot about what's going on. I do know Drake and Kendrick beef. Know about the rap beef. But if you really want to get into like the controversies of the 1960s folk scene, I'm the one you want to talk to. I'll get into it with you.
Are only autistic people allowed to be seen as assholes? Which is a great point. No, let everyone be assholes up to a point. Depends what the
fine
thing
line.
is.
The crack. Yeah, depends on the thing.
It is interesting though. Like we might see if someone's autistic, we're like, oh, well, yeah, Bob. If he was, then him being so kind of emotionally unavailable, fair enough, But it's like it's kind of fair enough no matter what, because everyone's just doing their best.
Yeah, and I'm not sure in what ways he was actually an asshole. Like, as far as I know, he just like doesn't really like signing stuff and still does, but it's because he's just like world famous and everyone's constantly ogling at him and trying to,
He was an asshole. Like he met, and by the way, he was consulted on the script. Yeah, like just unsolicited, basically just telling a woman her music sucks is like so insane. Oof. Imagine just like, and she's doing, imagine like that's what made me not respect him as an artist. Is like, really, you're putting down this like wildly successful, gorgeous female musician,
and she's the one who got him onto the folk scene. He wouldn't have been anything without her.
And I just feel like a real artist. Well, he was a real artist either way, wasn't he? But like someone who like is truly Bob Dylan's higher self. You don't like. I don't know. The artists I love don't put down other artists. Basically, even if you're like she does a different type of music to me, that's no reason to like insult her. And he kind of like did it on stage first as well. And then he did it after he slept with her. And it's like, she wasn't asking. Like he was just clearly like sexist and
he definitely, it's hard with people who are like, world famous and making the most money from their music and whatnot. Cause it's like, yeah, you are good. So if you're like, I'm the best in the world, it's like, I guess you are. But also, all things considered, you're just like a theater kid at the end of the day. And like in monkey world, that's important. But like in the grand scheme, how important is it? I don't know.
And how can you not recognize that you and Joan are both clearly brilliant and you offer different things? And like oil paintings in dentist's office can be stunning. Like a good oil painting can be like, why do you have to put down anyone else's art?
And what I was going to say is in interviews I've listened to, and he is a Christian who believes in souls. And he's all like, oh, I even listened to some of his or all of his autobiography or memoir or whatever. But he's like, yeah, I knew from a young age that I was marked for greatness. I knew that God had a plan for me, and the other ones who, know what our souls are here about, we had some kind of great work to do, I suppose. And I'm just like, I'm over it.
And I
actually don't care.
And the thing with that is like, there's so many people that feel that way that don't have your success. I just think you happen to also have like actual talent that you were able to develop. And so your grandiosity was kind of proven true, but like the grandiosity could have existed before the skills and also kind of served him as an artist in a way that he's kind of lucky. He's lucky that the culture was favorable to men like him when it wouldn't have been to like a grandiose woman.
Yeah.
A woman had to make herself be like an oil painting in a dentist's office.
Yeah. It is interesting when like a lot of his like songs toward women, like, and obviously I want to say we've grown culturally since then, but sometimes I don't know. It feels like we're backsliding.
Yeah.
But like just the way that he talks to women in his songs is interesting. Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And that's just across the board pretty much for, and maybe not entirely, but
maybe
largely.
He's both autistic and an asshole. I think contradictions are hard for human brains to comprehend. I mean, yeah, we are not weighing in on whether he's autistic. I mean, he's definitely an asshole. But yeah, you can be both. You can be neither.
Yeah.
You can be one.
They also did want him to like, overthrow the American empire and like stand in as a savior for democracy.
Which I'm like, you were destined for greatness. Do it.
And he's like,
do folk at the folk festival.
I literally just want to play my guitar and write my little songs for money. That's it. Like,
but then he's also like, I was destined for greatness.
Yeah, for monetary greatness, not trying to like actually lead shit. Like that's an art. Like as an artist, I'm like, because I care about politics and I've tried to like learn about politics my whole life and like figure out what's going on and assist as best I can or whatever. But but I've had people say that like you should run for office, and I was like, that sounds like the worst thing ever. That sounds terrible. That sounds like exactly the opposite of what I enjoy doing.
Yeah, that sounds like the thing I would be singularly worst at. I could be an accountant before I could be a politician. Well, hard to know.
I'll do graphic design for the campaign or something.
Yeah,
like, maybe.
Yeah, I'll spread the word. Thank you, Susan. Love to both of you. Love to you too, Susan. So appreciative that you all could be here for this rambling discussion.
Yeah, do you like the sounds of the chips?
Yeah, how are you guys feeling about the chips? Haven't heard any comments about them being...
Hear me out.
That's a very conscious chew. There's nothing gross about that chew so far.
We're starting to get into the mush, so I better back off. The swallowing.
That's when it gets.
Do you ever sit next to someone while you're eating and you're like, oh my God, like I'm drowning on the sounds of my own chewing right now. I can't imagine how they feel.
And they're not eating as well.
Yeah. Oh! Horrifying.
Yeah.
Horrifying. And it's kimchi, 12-day-old kimchi.
Okay. Canning King. Well.
What's everyone looking forward to this spring? Let us know in the comments of this video. Our dream collabs you'd love to see. We'll see what's out there.
People you realistically think would want to collab with us.
Yeah. We're already manifesting Zizek, so any day now.
Yep.
And besides
if anyone has a personal connection to Zizek
or
a snack company.
Or the girl who played, what's her name in the White Lotus? Mook.
Of the K-pop star?
Yeah, if any of you are close to her. We'd love to collab. And we'll talk with the publicist beforehand. We'll make sure that like it doesn't permanently change her image.
We'll do full propaganda for her brand. We don't care.
Yeah, whatever it takes. And yeah, if you're currently staying at a White Lotus, just try to avoid any murders and like have the hard conversations. Okay.
Yeah. Don't do a murder. We've always said that, but don't do a murder.
Yeah. Now more than ever, don't do a murder.
Not worth it.
Just don't. All right. Do not. Or else. And that's that. That is that.
That is that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying don't.
Yeah. No. Cool.
Cool. All right, Banksy, love you.
Yep, love you, Banksy. Join us on Patreon if you want to read Tennis Shoes Among the Nephites with us. Only a few more chapters left, and then we'll be doing a new thing.
And there are murders in that, so if you can't hang with that,
you can microdose murder as a concept through those books.
Yeah, we've processed a lot in those books.
We really have.
We've grieved. We've celebrated. We've imagined better, stranger, new worlds for ourselves.
Okay, love you all.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for being here. Thank you for all of you who super chatted us. And yeah, bye. I always feel like I want to say something like really good as I